Welcome to the Word for 2021. Today we're in Deuteronomy chapter 34. Now this is the final chapter in Deuteronomy. Here we're saying goodbye to Moses. As we read this chapter, Moses climbed Mount Nebo. There, God was gracious to him, and Moses was able to see the panoramic view of the Promised Land. God was gracious to him. And there it says that Moses died in Moab, and God buried him. And it says, to this very day, no one knows where his grave is. Moses was 120 years of age, and his eyesight was not weak, and his strength was not gone. He says in verse 10, since then, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face. No one did all the miraculous signs and wonders that he did. No one has ever shown the mighty power or performed the deeds that Moses did. Until Jesus came. Jesus was the promised prophet that was told about in Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 15, that God would send another prophet from their own brothers that would be just like Moses. That was Jesus. Moses is not seen again until Mark chapter 9, verse 4. It was on top of the mountain of transfiguration. Now Jesus took Peter, James, and John with him to the top of the mountain, and there Jesus was transfigured. His clothes became white like lightning. And then Peter, James, and John saw Jesus speaking with Moses and with Elijah. There was instant recognition of who they were. Peter said to Jesus, "It's good that we are here. Should I build 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah?" Now he was not introduced to them, but he knew exactly who they were. When we get to heaven, there will be instant recognition as well. We will know everyone that is there. God will make that possible. We also believe that the 2 witnesses in Revelation chapter 11 could be Moses and Elijah. Why? Because in that chapter it says that God gave them power to first shut up the sky so that it would not rain. In James chapter 5, we read that Elijah prayed and it did not rain for 3.5 years. Also in Revelation chapter 11, the witnesses, they prophesied for 3.5 years and they kept it from raining. Also in Revelation 11, the witnesses, they turn water into blood and they strike the earth with many different plagues. In Exodus chapters 7 through 10, Moses, he caused plagues to come upon the land and he turned water into blood. When we read about Moses and Elijah, we understand that when we leave this life, we do not cease to exist. We're still alive. We're just in another state. Physical death is not the end. Eternity is waiting for us. In Matthew chapter 22, Jesus is speaking about marriage and the resurrection. And this is what he says in verse 31. About the resurrection of the dead, have you not read what God said to you? I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but of the living. When we leave this life and we are ushered into eternity, we are alive as we see Jesus face to face. We'll have a brand new body, but we will be alive for eternity in His presence if we know Jesus as our personal Lord and Savior. Thank you for joining the Word for 2021.